Welcome to the Paint, Rest, Repeat podcast with Ros Gervais and
Laura Day, where we chat about our creative lives as artists while keeping it real and a little bit messy.
We're here to inspire creatives just like you to push past those boundaries and make art that you love. Let's dive in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Paint, Rest, Repeat. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Deb Baker with us today. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Roz. Hi, Laura.
Hey, Deb. I'm so excited to have you here. We know each other in person because I'm not from Ballarat anymore, but we have that connection, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah, you're not here in the cold anymore. You're
I
in the
know.
warm.
I saw the other night, it's like down to like 1 degree at night or something. I'm like, oh, I'm not missing that. I've just got the total opposite, and it's like 40 degrees in the humidity.
Yeah.
That's something new to balance as well, isn't it, Laura, dealing with the heat?
I know, it's the total opposite problems on the
You could
other
do it.
extreme of the scale. But this episode's about Deb and your art journey, and I'm so excited to dive into your whole journey. And I guess like maybe we should start this conversation with like the very beginning. Like, were you a creative child, and like what was your like first experience with art making?
So I'm probably the true cliche of all artists. You know, I've always created and sold a lot of things from early teens to friends and family creations. But then I ended up in year 11, 12, I knew that I wanted to go and be an artist. So I was encouraged by my art teacher, and my mum and dad agreed that I would follow along and go to uni. And I went bearing 3 paintings and 1 fine dot work piece, and went to Bendigo and Ballarat Uni, got accepted into both of those. And so I went through uni, and of course the first year of uni you get to do all the electives, and I had these big plans. I would be a painter, but I got involved in ceramics because I'm quite tactile. So I just loved the feeling of creating from a block of clay and doing that. So I pretty much did that, finished that in 89, and then got married the following year. But at the start of 1990, I was encouraged to go into nursing because art wasn't really a career. And so I did that for pretty much 30 years. And then COVID pretty much broke me with all the rules, regulations, people's moods, and I was not in a happy place. So about 3 years ago, I decided to go full-time with my art with the blessings of my family. And yeah, so it's just evolved from there. So it's been a bit of a journey for the last 3 years, but yeah, I'm now coming to a spot where I'm quite happy where I am. So
Amazing. And right behind you, for those of you who are watching or who are listening, make sure you come and watch as well on YouTube, because we can see behind you, Deb, your studio space, and you're surrounded by color and all of the art, not just original works, but I can see, product-based artworks as well. It's amazing. So do you want to tell everyone a little bit about your style and the different things that you offer in your art business?
So I think this is something you and I have discussed quite. At what category do I go under? I'm definitely a colour lover, and I think that colour evokes so many feelings in people. And for me, I need to have colour in my day to actually feel good. So, like I don't only create on canvases and paper, I recycle things that I find at the op shop and I paint them up and put my artwork on them. I do tumblers, and I have tea towels, and like I still create with fabric. So I do lots of different mediums. but coming back to it, my style is always about colour and joy, always.
And
So,
it's just so beautiful. You know, every time I see any work of yours, it always brings a smile to my face. So yeah, if you are listening, go and check out Deb's work so you know what we're talking about as we're chatting today. Laura, you've seen Deb's work before, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yeah, it's amazing. So colorful, so joyful, and yeah, you can just feel that resonance behind the work as well. So obviously art making, like that's your place of solace, and like it's something that like brings so much to your life, and then it comes through the art that you're making as well, which is really amazing to see. So I guess COVID was quite challenging for you. And like I'm just wondering, like, was there because you've come from a conventional workplace, and I'm just wondering if like maybe some other listeners are sort of in that position and they're thinking about transitioning into their art career. Did it take sort of like a lot of courage for you to like take that step, or what was like the final decision that you're like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna make this happen? Like, was there something that influenced that decision, or yeah, maybe just give us an insight into that.
I think what it came down to was I worked in a chemist. That was after doing nursing and allied health, and then eventually into pharmacy work. Everything was blues, and there was no bright colours. Uniform was blues. It was quite draining on the soul, and I would come home and I would be a bit gnarly. And my family knew that if I didn't create, I would be pretty much in a bad mood. But it took that to prompt me to go, this was never my career. This was sort of chosen for me. And I had always wanted to be an artist. So, you know, my husband is very supportive, and so are my two adult girls. That was what I had to go and do. I had to try it. If I didn't try it, I'd never know. So, yeah, I just jumped in the deep end and went, right, that's it. Finished work. I'm starting now. So, yeah, it took a lot of courage, but I wish I had have done it earlier. Yeah.
I feel like COVID, you know, did definitely cause a lot of people to look at where they were at and to make more of a conscious decision about their next steps. But in my view, yeah, from people that I've seen, you know, and all the journeys that we've talked about, I don't know if you've noticed the same, Laura, as well.
For sure. I think it was like a deep reflection point, because it was just like, it was a catalyst, like it was a shakeup, because everyone was pulled out of the life that they knew, and we couldn't operate in like a normal manner. And with all the lockdowns and however extreme it was, it just forced us to look at what you're doing in your life, and also we were faced with like you know, the prospect of, it was all doom and gloom. It's like, oh my gosh, like we can die from this. So it's like, what am I doing with my life?
And
So,
the
yeah.
other, you know, more positive side as well is that I think the online space really started to open it up.
Mhm.
And I feel like we suddenly saw all the options that were available to us. And especially as artists, you know, I think we suddenly could see that we could promote ourselves primarily online, and we could sell work primarily online, and that actually does work. And I think that was a, you know, big shift for creatives out there as well. So Deb, you've shared a lot about your journey so far and why you're happy to be making your art now, and you've been doing this for 3 years full time in your art business. What do you feel like some of the biggest challenges have been for you inside, like within that journey itself? Obviously the leap was a challenge in itself, but after you took that leap and throughout that journey, what's been some of the biggest hurdles and difficulties for you?
For me, initially it was societal beliefs of what being an artist is, and it's not a career. And can you make money from your work? And things like looking online, having that imposter syndrome and wondering, do I actually have anything that I can offer to this platform that isn't already there? And, you know, like, they were probably the biggest things. And even though I started off doing an art biz course with Natalie Parker, set me up with some systems, but I probably didn't take all that information on board the way I should have. And so it, you know, I had to find who I wanted to be, and I had to find someone to actually mentor me and resonate with me, because I think that's a really important part of finding your guidance in life, is to find someone that actually resonates with you. So yeah, hence I found Roz.
Yay. Yeah, so we have been working together for a little while, and I wanted to just reiterate as well that connection, that need for a connection. I think if you do go down that path of tapping into coaching or mentoring, because of what you mentioned earlier, which is this piece around, you know, self-worth. Like when you're branching out, or, you know, being brave to say, yep, I'm going to do this, I'm going to build my art business, it's a very vulnerable sort of a space to be in, and does make you look at, you know, is my art worthy? Am I a real artist? What are other people going to think? And to be able to have someone that can encourage you, I think, in that area, to really follow that calling, I think is really, really powerful. I've worked with a number of coaches over my time as well, and I honestly, I wouldn't be where I am today without having had coaches. So I'm a big believer in it. And I know you are as well, Laura.
Yeah, of course. We wouldn't be in this industry if we didn't. But we've talked about that on the podcast before as well. Having that mentor, that guide, and really someone that's like a testament to, you know, like success in the industry, and like someone that you can use as an example of like making your dreams a reality. And your path might be different to like get there, but as long as you have those people in your life that are a few steps ahead, or maybe have like some knowledge in the areas where you have skills gaps as well. But yeah, for you, Deb, I feel like it was almost like a new identity shift. Like you had to, you know, step into this arena and, you know, get rid of like all of those negative beliefs and the starving artist myths, and really like bolster yourself in that belief of like, I can make money as an artist, like I can make a career, like this is a legitimate career, and like I'm worthy of like putting my art out there into the world. And so it's been a short, quite like COVID, and then like it's been, it's sort of 5 years now, isn't it? Time warp, isn't it? Yeah, so like, you know, it's been like a space of time for you to like work through that. Does that feel true? Like you had to create a new identity and your beliefs around that?
Pretty much it was. And I think even though when I joined Roz in Art for the Heart membership, and like all Roz's resources started coming in, and I started learning things that sort of blowing my mind quite a lot, things I had to do. I wanted to do the VIP course. I knew that. But initially it was a financial thing. The next group, I wasn't mentally ready for it as such. So I actually went and did Jen B's branding course. So because I knew that I wanted to knuckle down on what my brand was, both my personal and my business brand / the same thing, and have that really clear in my mind before I went through the VIP course. And the things that I learned from Jen were, you know, that I'm a creator, entertainer. I was pretty much on the border of having those two in me. And it gave me, doing a course actually gave me the permission to be colourful, to wear colour, to think about who I was, how I represented myself to other people. And from that, everything else has sort of grown. And yeah, with the VIP, it's pushed me even further into areas that I am, as Roz is quite aware, am not comfortable with. I do not like tech at all. I don't like systems, but I'm learning that they are actually pretty important and a big part of being a business owner. And I wish I had known that at the start.
Well, but so sorry. Firstly, I was going to say you've come so far in that regard, like absolutely amazing. I feel like the fear, from what I can see in terms of your progress and your action, your fear of the tech is reduced most definitely, and you're kicking some serious goals on that front. I think you had a day where I think you loaded, was it 20, maybe 30 products on your website all in the one day? It was just like pew, 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 pew. Is that what happened?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and just on fire and doing it by yourself, whereas you used to have to rely entirely on someone else in your family to help you with that task. So amazing.
Yeah. And from when I started, my whole website, when I joined VIP, has had a total rebrand, has had a total colour shift. It was sort of more muted, moody colours. Now it's all bright. So I've actually come full circle as to who I am and what I'm meant to be doing. So, and I don't actually, now my mindset is that I don't create things for other people in the respect of trying to fit into a genre or a colorscape or anything like. I create purely for me. And if that resonates with other people, beautiful. But it is actually my medicine for a healthy life, is my art.
Yeah, amazing.
I've just got goosebumps because, if you're not creating art from a place of joy, what's the point? And you and I have the same sort of mindset in that regard. That said, some people do make art to sell, and that works for them as well. So each their own, but we are on that same page, Deb. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just talking about Gen B brands, we did an episode with Gen B a couple of episodes ago. So if you haven't listened to that,
I've listened to that, and she gave me as an example. That was lovely.
She's outstanding. She's amazing.
Yeah. So that was a really important part of your journey. And so maybe if you can describe like the person you were like before COVID and stepping into this, and like now the person that you are now, and reflect upon that. Did you want to share about like maybe like some important parts of your journey that like helped you grow?
I think having guidance prior to COVID, I created with like for my own joy, but I was no real direction or purpose. So I flicked around doing different things, and it was a hobby. What I did was purely a hobby. It wasn't until I probably got into art for the heart and just recently with VIP that I actually went, this isn't a hobby. This is a business, and I need to be serious about what I'm doing and how I'm approaching this, which past me wouldn't have done that. I didn't think it was possible, but I know now that it is possible. And, you have to get over those personal hurdles and get out of your own way, so to speak, and just do the things you've got to do to move forward, move the needle forward. And I want to move forward, and I want people to know about my art, and I want my art in so many places. That's always been important to me. It's not so much about the money. It's about, mind you, that's always important. It's more about how many people you can touch with your art, and having someone have a piece. It doesn't matter how big it is. It could be a card I've made, but they've got that. That's a piece of you in someone else's life. And I love that thought.
So would you now call yourself, a working artist? Who do you think you are now compared to that hobbyist back in the start?
I'm definitely a working artist now, Roz. And quite happy to tell people I'm an artist. And when we recently went back to New Zealand, what's your occupation? Well, it's an artist.
Yay!
I'm quite happy to write that. I have no qualms in telling people that's what I do. You know, you get the people that look at you and go, seriously, that's not a real job. It is actually a real job. And without artists and creators in the world, you wouldn't have things around you. You wouldn't have TV programs. You wouldn't have books. You wouldn't have nice crockery. You wouldn't have paintings on your wall. We are all there. You wouldn't have clothing with designs on it. That's what creators bring to the world, and we're important. And I think it's taken me a while to understand how important we are in the world.
Yeah, we definitely are. And I think other people need reminders as well, as you're saying, because I think that starving artist thing, it is just so deeply ingrained in society generally that people don't even realize it, but it's really quite astounding.
Yeah. And it's following, and I think it's having the tenacity to follow your goals. A lot of us sit safely in an area that society goes, yep, that's acceptable. We'll accept that. It doesn't matter if you're not happy there, but we're happy with you being there. And that's, you can't live your life like that. It's not possible to continue on a healthy, happy life, to be someone you're not meant to be. So, yeah.
So talking of goals, what is your plans for the future, Deb?
So my plans, Laura, is to continue my merchandise range, so to increase that. But my main goal is to get my designs onto fabric, which then will translate back into clothing and other soft furnishings, but mainly clothing, because the sewer in me really wants to wear my own art. So yeah, so that's where I want to. But really, the sky's the limit. I don't really haven't capped anything for myself, because I just want to keep going and going and going and taking whatever opportunities come my way and just run with them.
I love that, because really, you know, it's also enjoying the journey, enjoying being an artist who is selling their work, you know. So I think that's absolutely amazing. Hey, I just want to drop in really quickly before we forget, your recent placement of your art in a local cafe. Can we just celebrate this for a moment, because this is amazing?
Yeah, around Easter time, a friend who I used to work with in the chemist sent me a message and said, do you mind if I hand your name on to a friend who's opening a shop? She didn't say what shop, she just said a shop. And I said, yeah, go ahead, that's fine, I'd love to. So Erin contacted me the next day and said, we're opening a brand new coffee shop here in Ballarat, and I'd love to support an artist, and, you know, and Shay's given me a number. I said, fine. So she came round, and on that first meeting, it was like instant, you know, yes, we're on the same purpose. And so she just went, love your art, want it in our coffee shop. And so I thought initially it was like a collection of artists, but no, it's for just me. So that's even better. So yeah, my art is in the Crossroads Coffee Bar on 32 Skipton Street, Ballarat. And yeah, I get to showcase my art to people that probably wouldn't have seen my work before or even have heard of me. So it's pretty amazing as far as I'm concerned.
Well done. You know, that is really huge, because you said yes and you were confident as well in sharing your information. You went through all of those steps, and it's obviously actually happened. So you've made the art, you've delivered the art. We were working on your pricing so that you're actually pricing appropriately. So we were doing all of that as well. And it is now in that space looking up absolutely amazing. So if you are listening to our episode today, go and check out Deb's socials, because there are some happy snaps on there as well showing Deb's art in this particular cafe space. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I think one of the things of seeing my art on the walls solidified the fact that it's not just close friends and family that are going, yeah, your art's nice, that's lovely, that's a nice piece. It's actually other people that have not come in contact with you that are appreciating your art. And when I saw it on the walls, was a little bit emotional. It was almost like oh, I am real. and my art actually looks good on these beautiful brick walls and in this beautiful old building outside the chaos of my own studio, where they just, as you know, they sort of all get melted together and you go, I'm not sure if I like it. I think it's all right. But when it's out on its own space, it's like pretty proud of myself. Thank you.
That's amazing, Deb. Yeah, I know. It's so good. And also, I think that cafe is in a prime location in Ballarat. So, you know, you're going to get new eyes on your work. You're going to get locals. You'll probably get more awareness in the community, but then also tourists as well. Like I'm thinking about like that's like one of the main throughways into Ballarat. So you've got so much potential there. Also, I feel like this opportunity has come to you because you're showing up for your art too. So I actually think because you're active and you're sharing your work and you're you know, you're proving that like, you know, this is your path, like this is your career, you're taking it seriously. That's when all these unexpected things come to you. Like that was it wasn't a coincidence or like that happened. Like it's because you're honoring your practice and you're showing up and you're sharing your art. So yeah, amazing. Well done.
And I think I'm probably more aware of opportunities that are coming towards me, whereas before I might have been a little blindsided or head in the sand type thing where I just didn't see what was being offered and taking it and running with it. I just sort of lacked that, like you say, lacked that confidence to actually grasp those opportunities and go, you know, I have a right to this and I've worked hard, and why should I not be entitled to this opportunity? So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah,
What an
amazing.
epic journey, Deb. Sorry, my voice just went weird. What an epic journey, Deb, is what I meant to try and say then. Absolutely exceptional. We have one extra question to ask you, which is, and I'm reading from my notes here. If you could go back and tell yourself one thing at the very beginning of your art business journey, what would it be? This is hard. One thing's always hard, but what would it be?
Well, it'd probably be to back myself and to believe in my abilities. But I also have that second one is find a mentor. Find someone to help guide you through that's already been there, that knows the ropes, that can, you know, just make things a little easier for you as you go through. Wish I had done it so much earlier. It would have made things a lot easier, and I don't know where I would have been along on the path, but it doesn't really matter because my journey is what it is. And you know, like there's been through things that I've gone through in the last few years that have been a bit hard, but my art's always been there.
Beautiful. Thanks, Deb.
That's all right.
Oh, socials. Sorry, my brain's always pew, pew, pew everywhere.
Yeah. Let us know where people can find you, Deb.
So on Instagram, I'm at Deb Baker Art. I have my website, debbakerart.com, and Facebook is just Deb Baker Art. So, yep, just pop on, have a look. If you're into colour, I'm probably one of you girls.
Yay. Thanks so much for joining us, Deb.
That's all right. It's been a pleasure, ladies. Lovely to see you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.